So, this is the young lady.
Lady Denham, may I present Miss Charlotte Hayward?
How'd you do?
Very prettily done, my dear.
Lady Denham's ward, Miss Clara Brereton.
Good day.
At first impression that she has of Charlotte's first impression of her, it didn't go well in this scene, and you can sense it by Lady Denham saying the first two words, like, oh, so. It's like she wasn't impressed by the appearance of Charlotte. Like, okay, who is the girl? Like, where's she coming from? Like, she's not even from around here.
Well, she's a fine, healthy-looking girl. Though nothing remarkable as to looks. What is your father, Miss Hayward?
He has a small estate in Willingdon, Ma'am.
And farms it, I suppose. That won't do anymore. Land's not what it used to be. Industry and enterprise, that is the future.
Indeed it is.
Charlotte respected her. She greeted her. She had that courtesy toward Lady Denham. But Lady Denham already, like, judging her. She asked Charlotte about her family background, like what her father does. And she talked about the appearance, the looks of Charlotte, and it's just like, you just met her. You don't even know the whole story of Charlotte and her upbringing and her life stories. And you can tell Mary Parker, she was protective of Charlotte in that scene, but at the same time, she didn't want to be rude to Lady Denham. It was between Lady Denham and Charlotte, the conversation.
How many brothers and sisters have you?
11, Ma'am.
11? Oh, you will need to marry well. And no doubt they've sent you to Sanditon to find yourself a fortune.
Not at all, Ma'am.
Lady Denham,
Nonsense, of course they have. There's no shame in that. I married very well myself.
11 kids, that's a big family, and that was normal back then in that time period. And Lady Denham, like, 11, so, the first question that might arise in your mind, like, okay, is Lady Denham married? Does she have kids? Two women having different views on life, and it's really funny and fascinating at the same time. Like, one is, like, really old, and the other one is, like, really young. It's just a big difference in the generation between the two, and a really big difference in the family background and where they stand in life right now.
Any children, Ma'am?
No, we were not blessed. Sir Harry Denham was elderly and in poor health. And now, do you see? Everybody is waiting for me to shuffle off this mortal coil so they can have my money. What do you say to that, Miss Hayward?
Charlotte can be outspoken too, and I think you will see that throughout season 1. She definitely outspoken in this moment when she asked Lady Denham if she has any kids. And the look on Lady Denham, like, oh, okay, you get some spiciness in there. You're willing to ask me that question. But she answered, and they were not blessed with kids. So I think it was something that she kept to herself, and I think she went through a lot. I'm pretty sure she had that moment in the past where she thinks to herself and wondering, if she will ever be a mom. I think every woman goes through that in their life. So the way that she said that they were not blessed with kids, and I think that was a journey that she went through, and something that she wasn't proud of, I think, and that she wasn't really happy about, that memory of, getting married, but you not be able to have kids. So it's just something that she had to learn to live with for the rest of her life.
If you have no direct heirs, Lady Denham, I suppose you can leave it where you please.
You're quite right. You're a sharp one, Miss Hayward. But my relations all think they have a claim on it. The Breretons, because I was a Miss Brereton. Clara there is one of many Breretons. Poor as church mice. And then there's Sir Harry's nephew and niece, Sir Edward Denham and Miss Esther.
She explained about Clara a little bit, and she has a niece and nephew that she mentioned that we will get to meet.
All of them hoping to do well by my demise. There's one thing they all forget, and that is that I have no intention at all of dying.
At least she's using her money for something good, for the future generation to come. Yeah, so no intention of dying. Charlotte, like, okay, like, you're gonna die someday, whether you like it or not. And Mr. Parker giving Charlotte that look, like, I know she's crazy, but she is an important person to Tom Parker just because of the investment and the time and efforts and building that resort. And more than that, building the town to be the best town there ever was. I would say that she's a bit of a businesswoman because she is putting money into the resort. Like, she's technically an investor, so I'm pretty sure she's a smart lady when it comes to those things. And she just have that really high respect in the town. Like, everyone knows who she is, and everyone looks to her with high respect and somewhat of a fear, you know, because they know how much money she has and the impact, the influence that she has in Sanditon.
You go and sit down with Miss Clara. Mr. Parker and I have matters of business to discuss.
I'm afraid you must have found Lady Denham rather rude.
She does seem very direct.
She is, but I'm very grateful to her for taking me in.
Charlotte met Clara, and she's another interesting character to talk about.
I'm the very poorest of poor relations, Miss Hayward.
Charlotte, please. May I call you Clara?
Of course. How do you like Sanditon?
Very much. Though I have seen very little of it.
It was really nice, though, that they quickly get along. They introduce each other, their names, and Charlotte, like, you know, hey, call me Charlotte. Like, you know, we're even. It seemed to be like a good new friendship forming. We'll see how that goes.
Do you plan to try sea bathing?
I want to try everything there is to try. Do you care for it yourself?
I confess I haven't been in the sea yet. Although Sir Edward has been extolling its health-giving properties to me.
Perhaps we could enjoy it, or endure it, together.
I should like that very much.
Clara already talking about sea bathing, and Charlotte just arrived, so she's very open-minded to trying new things and seeing new places and meeting new people. And she's like, yeah, you're like, let's go together, let's try it together. She definitely had that sense of adventure inside of her.
I beg your pardon.
Let me introduce you to our guest, Miss Hayward.
Enchanted to make your acquaintance, Miss Hayward.
Edward and Esther, the nephew and niece that Lady Denham mentioned earlier when she met Charlotte for the first time. Another two interesting characters. We'll talk more about them later on, but Edward, you can see there's something going on between Edward and Clara. Clara kept looking at Charlotte, like, especially when Edward was kissing Charlotte's hand, and you're probably thinking, like, okay, is there something romantic going on between Edward and Clara? Edward seemed very intrigued by Charlotte the first time he laid his eyes on her. He respectful in the way that he trying to make himself look good in front of Charlotte. On the other hand, Charlotte, like, okay, she seemed attractive, but she had her guards up, and she's just like, okay, I don't know about this guy. Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
You must experience it. The bracing shock of the first plunge. The incomparable feeling of freedom and lightness. The ocean bearing you up as you give yourself to it fearlessly. The gentle play of the currents over your naked limbs. Nothing can give one such a sense of well-being.
Clara mentioned about Edward really into sea bathing. So Charlotte brought it up in this conversation just to get the conversation going and try not to be awkward silent. But the way that Edward described sea bathing, Charlotte like, yeah, about that. Like, I don't know if I want to be near you when I try to go sea bathing. Charlotte's still like trying to like form her first impression of Edward and trying to like figure him out just to see if he's really a good man or not. But she's very kind to everyone and she's willing to introduce herself to everyone and give everyone a chance to show themselves, and then she'll make her assumption on her first impression of each people that she meets in Sanditon.
I see you're enjoying yourself.
Just making a newcomer feel at home, sister.
Perhaps you can find the time to focus on the task in hand.
I'll speak to her now.
Esther and Edward, they have an interesting relationship. We'll talk more about that later on. Esther seemed to be a bit jealous of the interaction between Edward and Charlotte.
As Edward, you know, he's a good young man. How do you find him?
I find him very elegant and very spirited.
And very well to look at.
That as well.
Yes, he is very well to look at.
Lady Denham, asked Charlotte on the spot, what do you think of him? And Charlotte, of course, said what she thought of him. She's very outspoken, and she gonna say what she thinks. And at the same time, she just doesn't want to show too much of her thoughts and feelings toward Edward. Like, he seemed attractive, like trying not to blush, but at the same time, Charlotte's still not into Edward like that, like she's still trying to figure him out, figure the whole story out about who Edward really is.
Very pleasing to the young ladies. No doubt, he'll sow some wild oats, but he must marry money. A handsome young fellow like that will go about smirking and paying girls compliments, but he has to marry a fortune.
Lady Denham seemed to have a very chill good talk about boys, but then the conversation went to the other side, yeah, he's not gonna marry you, he's gonna marry someone rich, and that's basically take Charlotte off. She's like, okay, I'm done.
You understand me?
I understand you perfectly, Mom.
Yes, I think you do. You're a good, sensible sort of girl.
And this relates back to the early conversation between Lady Denham and Charlotte, oh, you from a family of 11 kids, you live in the countryside on a farm, you don't have much money, you're here to marry a rich guy. And Charlotte no, that's not my intention. And now this conversation, Lady Denham saying, oh, you can't really marry Edward because of your reputation and how much money you have. And Charlotte just wow, okay, so you're not fully marry someone that I truly love, whether he's rich or not. So that's kind of give Charlotte some insecurity, some low self-esteem, because she is surrounded by rich people or people that are in the higher class than she is. This is a new learning experience for Charlotte, and like her dad said, be careful about everything, and this is one of those things to be careful on.
My sister, Miss Diana Parker, and my brother, Arthur.
We've all been very ill, almost at death's door, haven't we, Arthur?
I thought I'd never leave my bed.
But we have rallied, as you can see. And we came to call on you as soon as we arrived, only to learn you were on a cliff walk, so we thought we'd be brave and surprise you.
Charlotte met Tom Parker's brother and sister, and they are definitely opposite of Sydney and Tom, personality-wise.
Our lodgings are closest. Come, take tea with us. And let's all of us, for God's sake, get out of this howling gale.
Come.
They're more fun, more laid back, very chill, very easygoing, funny at times. And I think Charlotte find that to be true right away at the introduction moment. And it's definitely a different air than talking to Lady Denham.
Oh, and we have seen Miss Lamb, who is said to be a great heiress with a fortune from the sugar trade. Her party arrived in 2 hack shays. Miss Lamb, her maid, her governess, Miss Griffiths, and 2 Miss Beauforts.
What's she like? Is she pretty?
To be truthful, we only caught a glimpse of her back as she went inside the house, but the whole party was very fine and respectable.
She mentioned about Miss Lamb, and she will be another great character to talk about. Besides Charlotte and her love life, her possible suitors, I should say, Miss Lamb will be most likely the secondary main character that I would talk a lot about in season 1 and season 2. She's a great character to talk about. She goes through her own things, and I'm excited to talk about her later on when she does come into the picture. But yeah, Miss Lamb seems to be another rich woman. You can see the brain igniting on Tom Parker, because he is looking for enough investors, enough people, rich people that are willing to help him in the investment of the resort and other things that are going on in the development of Sanditon. So he's like, let's see if Miss Lamb can help us out too. But it's nice that Charlotte met the rest of the gang, I would say. The only person that is missing is Sydney, and I cannot wait to talk about Sydney. He is coming on into the picture really soon. We will see him in episode 1, but not in this video review just yet. Comment below any thoughts, anything. I would love to talk to you. You can tweet me. I am on Twitter. It's the same username as my YouTube channel. You can tweet me there if you don't have a YouTube account. I will be reading these comments and giving shout outs later on. So participate, comment, talk to me, talk to other fans throughout the journey. I would love to get to know you, and also to stay in touch with the Hardys from the Teacup Trail. I know some of you guys watch this show as well. I hope you having a good day. Hopefully, finger crossed, when I upload this video, there's no problem. This episode, there's a lot to talk about, and I really want to go into detail and really have a solid beginning of Charlotte and all these people that she meets in episode 1. And from here on out, hopefully it will just be a 2-part review for each episode. We will finish both seasons before Thanksgiving in November, and there will be another break, and I will go back to my Teacup Trail next year. And when season 3 comes around for Sanditon, after it airs, I will go back to Sandy Trail. So that's my plan for the rest of this year into 2023. Yeah, I'm so excited. Welcome to the Sandy Trail. I will see you very soon. Hope you have a great day and or night, wherever you are. See you soon. Bye.